Morning everybody, it's Chris from C&L Farm, and another little update I wanted to give you. Been out here early this morning, it's a Saturday morning, working on some more raised beds for this main production area. We do a lot of donating. We're planning on doing more donations to our local church, the Journey Fellowship Baptist Church. They have a food bank, so a lot of what we're going to be doing next season is pretty much 100% donation to the church to help needy families. But right now, I plowed this area a few weeks ago, and I think it's roughly maybe 75, maybe 80 feet down to the first break, just before that persimmon tree. And I should be able to get 16, maybe 20 10-foot beds in here, but we'll see. I'm trying to get 4 per row with a 4-foot gap in between each set of beds, just so I can get, implements through there, wheelbarrows and whatnot. But these beds are roughly 30 inches with about an 18-inch walkway. As you can see here, this is my story stick. It's got a little dirt on it, so you can't really see, but I've got it set up with paths and then beds. This is a 10-foot long board, 2x4, and I can set out, 1, 2, 3, 2 beds and 3 pathways. So I have a little extra room on the end here, but I think I'm going to leave that and let that grow back up into grass. Just so I have more room in case I need to get the tractor around this side of the garden bed. But, these are going to be just production beds for, lettuces and, carrots and beets and radishes and everything that we grow here in abundance on this farm. And we're hoping to provide as much as we can to the food bank. We've also got plans for expanding our orchard up into that general area. There's a fenced-in area that's close to the house, and right now it's grown up with a whole bunch of weeds and briars and whatnot, but we're going to clear that back out and get that cleaned up so we can set up about a 20 or 25 tree orchard up there for fruit, apples, pears, plums, persimmons, pawpaws, whatever we can grow, more blueberries. But I think that we're going to be able to get at least 16 beds here. This is the next set of 10-foot wide beds. And the reason why I'm doing 10-foot wide beds instead of doing like a long, 70 or 80 foot bed here is, I'm trying to get back to less tractor work and more hand digging and more hand work. The whole goal is to try and have these set up as permanent raised beds that we just reshape every year or two, depending on how bad they deteriorate throughout the season. And we're going to try and keep them covered in production year round. But right now we don't have that much here. We have more over on the other side of the greenhouse over there. But our goal is no-till and no-dig beds. We're going to try and work on building out a better compost area and doing more, composting, because we don't do enough composting here, and compost is expensive to buy, even by the truckload. It's very expensive. And it's not a good quality. We just really don't have good quality compost in this area. It's kind of sad, actually, but it is what it is. So got to clean this fence line up here. This was just where we had some cucumbers, I think 2 years ago, but right now it's just grown up with goldenrod and whatever other, weeds that are there. Haven't really taken care of it that much. But yeah, I'm going to clean that area up, and we're putting down more landscape fabric. I know landscape fabric's not really permaculture, but we have so much out here that we need to cover and keep from just going wild. And it will go wild, as you can see. I mean, this is This was landscaped, I think, maybe 5 years ago. And, you know, it's just gotten to the point where we couldn't keep up with it. So it's taken over. So we got a lot of cleanup to do. You know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But our goal is to have landscape going all the way up to the top of the hill there, just before that tree up there on top of the hill, right up there. And then we're gonna fence all of this in because we have a lot of deer out here on this property. So, but I'm very happy with this persimmon tree. It's getting overtaken by this privet hedge and briars and stuff that was around one of these trees that we had cut down a few years ago, and we haven't been able to keep up with it. But we plan on clearing this out this winter so this tree can grow a little bit straighter. But it's got a few persimmons on it still. A few of them have been, you know, eaten by bugs and whatnot. But, you know, once we get a good frost, the 5 or 6 that are left on here that haven't gone to the chickens will, yeah, they'll do well. I think they'll do fine. There's a blueberry bush. But we plan on having some more production beds up here in this area. These are going to mainly be, we're going to expand the blueberries that are over there, that are right there. There's 4 rows of blueberries. We're going to probably put 2 more rows in and try and spread some of these that we already have into that new area because they're ornamental size, so they're not meant to get more than 5 or 6 feet tall and about 4 feet wide, but they're just doing so well that they're actually getting too big. And we can't keep the path cleaned in between them very well. So we're gonna probably take some of them from this the third row right there, and then move them over and space them out a little bit more. But we'll see. But then we're gonna put probably a couple patches of corn that just sweet corn, so we can, you know, get some sweet corn to the families, and then some winter squash that we'll plant. It's basically a 3 sisters type setup where you have corn, winter squash to shade the ground and keep the weeds down around the corn, and then we'll probably put some rattlesnake pole beans in that grows up the corn, and that's your 3 sisters. You know, the beans provide nitrogen fixation in the root nodules that fixes nitrogen back into the soil that helps feed the corn, and the squash is going to shade the ground and keep it moist, so you don't have as much evaporation and everything has enough water. So yeah, that's what we're going to set up here, just a couple blocks in this little general area right here. I'm not quite sure. I might leave this fallow one more season, but I'm going to cover it with a tarp, with a silage tarp, and try and kill this back down. But there'll be paths, you know, 4-foot paths that go all the way around this entire garden, and then there'll be a fence that goes all the way down. It's about 100, maybe 120 feet down to the other side of that greenhouse, or that hoop house. And it's going to come all the way up and then go down just before the figs down here, just on the other side of this little garden we were looking at. And then it's going to go back around and connect back into the greenhouse. And that's just going to try and keep the deer out. We're using cattle panels, which are, I've found, a lot easier to set up with these 10-foot T-posts, and instead of wire. Like, this is just wire. This is I don't even know what the wire is called, but it's just wire, and it's really hard to unroll, and, you know, especially when you're trying to do this by yourself for the most part. I don't have a lot of help. Really love to have some volunteers come out, but just haven't gotten any to come out here yet to help us out and, you know, help provide food for families in the local area. But, you know, we have a lot to do, and as you can see, it's a lot of these tracks in here. Some of it's deer, most of it's my dog. And that's another thing, that if we can get this covered, or get a fence around here, it will really help keep these deer at bay. So, you know, it's hard sometimes to get a garden going and not have the deer come through and They eat all my tomato plants. You know, I've never had deer bother tomato plants before. I used to have them all along that fence, all the way down just below those fruit trees, those Asian pears and golden delicious apple trees, and they never bothered them. But I think it was because of the fabric. They didn't like walking on the fabric. Didn't feel natural to them. But now that there's so much grass over there, yeah, the deer, they really enjoy it. It's crazy. We also have the asparagus bed to clean up. All that really tall stuff right down there. That is where the asparagus was, or is. And I think we're going on the 3rd year. Next spring will be the 3rd year for that. So we should get pretty good production, but I got to clean all that out and cover it for a few weeks just to try and kill some of that stuff down. And then we'll go back and put another ring of landscape timbers around it, and then fill it up with wood chips, and that will protect the asparagus for the winter. And then they'll just poke right on through that, and it'll help feed them with all the worms and all the activity in the soil. So I mean, it's good soil. You know, it could be better. I need to get another soil test done this year, or this coming spring. So that's my goal. But you know, I just want to give you a quick update and show you some of the progress that we've made. Tell you what, let me walk down, because we did work on some fencing this morning, and get some of the fence over on the front side where the greenhouse is. It's where we have our broccoli and some more lettuce that's growing. It's just getting started, more radishes. People love the radish. So let me get around here. Try not to break my leg on a hole that I can't see. But if you can see, once the sun gets behind me, there we go. So I think there's 12 raised beds here. They're all 30 inches wide, but we've got the beginnings of the cattle panel. Still got a little bit of work to do to stabilize the middle of it with another post, some smaller posts. But basically, this is our solution to a deer fence. So these 10-foot T-posts, they're about 2 feet in the ground. So we got 8 feet above, and deer typically, you know, they're not going to jump over an 8-foot fence unless they absolutely have to try. But they won't really jump into such a small area with such a high jump because they need a lot of room. They would land like over in the middle of those beds if they had to jump over an 8-foot fence. So, but what we're going to do, this is only 4 feet. So what we're going to do is about a foot or so above the top of the fence, and then probably another one up another foot, maybe one at the very top. But we have this, it's just a thin wire that we're just going to wrap around each one of these posts all the way down, and we're going to try with just 2 wires here, so it'll get up to about a 7-foot tall fence, and that should keep them from jumping over into the garden area. So, well, we'll see. You know, it's not really an experiment because it's going to be done, but the fence will go over, connect to the side of the greenhouse there, and there'll be a door in this general area right here, and then there'll be another door at the other end, and it'll connect to the greenhouse. But we're going to continue past that willow tree with the fence, and then go down that way, around and all the way around the garden. And then it will come back up and probably come right along here and connect up with the post that's going to be about in this area. So, you know, that's the goal. And broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts are doing really well. We got radishes. We got more radishes in the greenhouse that are doing well. A little bit of Swiss chard I just put in the ground a few days ago. The garlic bed, I didn't have that much garlic left, so that's all we have. And then this bed has 3 or 4 rows of lettuce in it. It's kind of hard to see. It's a lettuce mix. You see the green. So it's just a lettuce mix. And there's 3 or 4 rows of that in each one of these beds. I think this one has 3. And then this is more the French breakfast radishes. And these last two, or this last bed and then that little flat area, that's daikon radish. It's really there to provide fodder for the chickens because they love eating radishes and radish tops. But it'll also help aerate the soil. And I'll add one more bed at the top up here. Wasn't comfortable doing a 13th bed, so I may not do a 13th bed. And I may just set that area up as just a little production area for holding, you know, tools or something, wheelbarrows and whatnot. But you know, that's the goal. You know, we're just trying to get this place back into shape. It's hard to do it all by yourself, though, like I said. But I'm doing it, and I'm gonna get it done. So we got a lot of fruit, we got a lot of berries and figs and apples and peaches, pears, plums, everything. But we're gonna expand the orchard, do even more. I got to put some irrigation in, a little better irrigation than I've had. And the ladies are doing well. They're doing just perfect. Look at them. They're just sitting around saying, hey, you know, what's going on? I don't care. But there you go. So that's the farm. That's a quick update. And I hope you enjoy it. So I know all I do is talk on these, and I don't really show how things are being done, but right now I just haven't had time to sit, and it takes a long time to film a video showing how things need to be done, and you know, how not need to be done, how I do it, and you can do it in your context. But it's just general ideas. So you know, I'll try and get a little bit more of that in the future, but for the most part, it's just me talking and telling you what I'm doing. So I appreciate it. If you like the video, like, share, subscribe, let your friends know, pass it along, and you know, I'll have another one up in a week or two, and we'll see where we go from there. But we'll see what's next. But I appreciate it. It's Chris from C&L Farm. Thanks. Have a good day.